Hello, I am Harsh Khattar, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science at KITE Group of Institutions, Ghaziabad. Welcome to the lecture series of Computer Networks. In previous class, we discussed about the unit number 1, what are the important questions in unit 1. Today, we are starting unit 2, which is data link layer. Very first question which came to our mind is what is the roles and responsibility of data link layer. Although we have discussed about the data link layer in OSI model. In OSI model, this data link layer is layer 2. Sometimes we have seen questions with the name explain the description of layer 2 in OSI model. It means in question they are asking about the data link layer. If I talk about the main functionality of data link layer, then some of the points are highlighted on the screen. You can see here that the first service is the framing. Now, what exactly framing is? As we all know that each and every layer of OSI model is adding some additional part in the data which is coming from the higher end layers, like the data which is coming from application layer to the presentation layer is adding something in it. Similarly, when we come to the layer 2, which is data link layer, and the data is coming from the network layer. So, here I am representing it like in network layer generally we talk about the packets, and in data link layer, which is layer 2, we are talking about frames. The physical layer, which we have already covered, is dealing with the bits and their streams. So, I am mentioning here bit streams, means the data is transmitting over the communication channel through bit streams, but layer 2, which is data link layer, is dealing with the frames. So, what is the process of creating the frames? This is done by the data link layer. That is why the first mention point is framing. So, how the framing is happening? How the frames, suppose I am sending a data that my name is Harsh Khattar, I am working as assistant professor. For example, these two lines are divided into 1000 of bits, and these 1000 of bits are in the form of frames. Okay? Yes, at the minute level we are sending the signals and bits, but in layer 2 in the form of frames we have this data. So, this particular part says frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4. For example, my name is Harsh Khattar, I am working as assistant professor. These two lines are divided into 4 frames 1, 2, 3, 4. So, these type of frames means chunk of data is designed and developed by the data link layer. So, this is the role of framing and how the data link layer is generating the frames. Now, the next important task is how these frames are connected. If I am receiving the frames, for example, I have sent this data and you are my friend, you are receiving at your end these frames 1, 2, 3, 4, but the order is random, means you are receiving the frame 3, then frame 2, then frame 4, then frame 1. So, how the synchronization among the frames are there? So, this task is also performed by the data link layer at receiver end, means some sort of information is provided in the frames, the data streams which is received at the receiver end. So, this synchronization among the frames is also performed by the data link layer. So, right now I discussed about the first working, that is creation of frame and the frame synchronization. I hope this part is clear. Now, the next important point about the data link layer is the control. Now, control is in the form of two things. One is the flow control and another one is the error control. Take one example, the basic scenario. If I am sending the data, continuously I am sending the data, like I am Harsh Khattar, I am working as assistant professor, I am in KITE Group of Institutions, Ghaziabad, here I am recording the lectures of computer networks, but at your end, I am sender, I am sending the data, but at your end when you are listening it, might be you are unable to grasp the things with my speed, means there is not proper balance between the sender and receiver. Now, I am taking the pause between the values so that you can easily understand the things. If I am speaking the things so fast, yes, there are the 4 functionalities, one is the framing, one other one is the error control, flow control, addressing this part. Might be some of the data is lost at your end because the receiving capacity is not that much as the sending capacity. The speed in which I am saying might be you are not listening or receiving. So, here this type of flow control is also handled by the data link layer. So, this is flow control. Okay? It means if at a time we are saying at one particular of time if 10 frames are sent by the data link layer of sender end, but receiver is able to capture only 5 frames. So, what about the 5 frames? Means either they will drop or we are losing them. So, these type of things are also controlled by the data link layer. I hope this point is also clear. Take another example of error control. What is the meaning of error control? Suppose I am saying something and you are receiving the particular thing. If during my speech you feel that this word is not complete, this will happen when we are sending the data. Suppose I have sent I am Harsh Khattar and you are receiving only the things I am Khattar, means some data is missing, there is some sort of error in the data which you are retrieving. Might be I am saying I have Harsh Khattar, but the detail is I am Harsh Khattar, means this am is replaced by I have. Okay? So, this thing is known as the error control and data link layer is there to deal with this. So, now you are understanding the importance of data link layer, framing and synchronization, then error control, flow control. Another important parameter is the addressing. Yes, in most of the exams you find the questions on addressing, but there are 2 types of address in computer networks. Address 1 is the logical address which is known as IP address. Okay? So, this internet protocol address is in the network layer which is layer 3. So, which type of address data link layer deals with? That is the physical address, the address of machine. So, here it is clearly mentioned that addressing is also performed by the data link layer. Here this addressing means only the physical address which is also known as MAC ID. Sometimes you have seen that you have connected the internet through Wi-Fi and in the settings, in the properties you are saying there is a IP address which is known as logical address and another one is the MAC address which is mentioned in the hexadecimal number system. So, this is basically known as the MAC address, the physical ID of the system which can't be changed. Okay, IP address you will see if it is dynamic, you can see the changes in the IP addresses, but the physical address is common for a particular hardware. So, this type of addressing, how the registration is done, we will see this part in detail. Then medium access control, how the data is transferring and how many other users are also using the particular channel. For example, currently I am in the room where I am alone, might be 5 faculty members together are speaking and you are receiving all 5 audios. Are you able to understand any one faculty voice clearly? The answer is no. It means if there are multiple users, how you will identify that yes, this data is from that particular faculty member or user. So, here there is a particular medium access and this is in the controlled manner. In coming lectures, we will discuss the medium access control in detail. Then multiple accesses, if there are multiple users who are accessing the data. So, how it is possible in a single channel, in a single network? If everybody in the room are saying something, then it has been seen many times that if a teacher is asking something, 40 students in the room say yes, no, might be this thing. So, then what is the response from the faculty side? Okay, tell me one by one. So, this is a clear example. If multiple users are saying something, they are sending the data, how the receiver, I am a faculty, I am a receiver, I am receiving your responses. So, how I will get to know that yes, yes is said by this student or no is said by this student. Okay? So, one by one. So, this thing is also deal with the under the category of data link layer. So, this is all about the working and the functionalities of data link layer. In most of the university exam papers, you will find 5 marks question on the services and the functionalities provided by data link layer. Now, if I take a scenario to discuss these functionalities or services in detail, might be some of the students are unable to understand the previous example. So, you can find here one more example. In data link layer, if the data is received not as per the data which is sent by the sender, I am sender, you are receiver, what you are receiving is not as per my expectations. So, the reason might be you are receiving a wrong packet, there is some sort of unordered way that you are receiving the packet, means I am saying packet number 1, packet number 2, packet number 3 or frame number 1, frame number 2, frame number 3, but you are receiving in an unordered way. So, there is proper synchronization, might be you are receiving some packets and some of the packets are lost or dropped. So, how you will get to know that I have explained this topic or not? Suppose I am saying today I will discuss 10 topics and in the end I have discussed only 8 topics. So, might be 2 of the topics are missed, lost or damaged. So, these type of things are also handled by the data link layer. Next is basically the multiple devices. If multiple devices are connected, then which device has a major control? If everybody is sending the data, means this is the same example, if the 5 faculty members are teaching in a class at once, then student will not understand any of the subject. So, in this case we are talking about one particular faculty member has a control over all 5 devices. Similarly, the another important scenario is the receiving rate is slower. So, I have already discussed about the receiving rate. If the receiving rate is slower, then the data link layer will manage this type of thing. Now, how data link layer will perform these much operations? Means data link layer is a single entity. How these 5 operations are performed by the data link layer? So, inside data link layer, there are 2 major entities. Entity number 1 is the LLC, entity number 2 is the MAC. If I draw virtually a diagram of OSI model, then at the bottom we have physical layer, layer 1. Then second number is the data link layer. Now, this data link layer is divided into 2 parts. This is part 1 and this is part 2. So, medium access control, which is known as MAC, is responsible for the controls. If there are so many devices who will be picked at once, so that there is no clashing, no collision of data. Then this second part is the LLC, which is known as logical link control. This is responsible for the error control and the flow control mechanism. Okay? And the framing is also a part of this thing. So, if I talk about these 2 components, so these 2 components are known as the sub layers inside the data link layer. If there is a question, explain the functionality of data link layer, then you can say yes, there are 2 entities or sub layers inside the data link layer. Number 1 is the MAC and another one is the LLC, logical link control. Then you can also elaborate the working of MAC is responsible for the multiple access who will take the control over the other devices which are connected, and LLC is responsible for the flow control, error control and the framing part. So, this is the structure of data link layer. Based on the structure and the functionality which I have discussed, the syllabus of unit 2 is defined. If you focus on the syllabus provided by the university under computer networks, you will find these are the topics mentioned in this syllabus, and The two major parts are mentioned here. One is the MAC, which is the medium access sublayer, which has the subheadings like medium access sublayer. What is the role of this? How the channels are allocated? What is the meaning of channel? Here I am talking about if 10 users are there in a room, who will send the data to whom? So here the channel is single. How everybody is sending a data over a single channel? No, it is not possible. On the staircase, if we are saying all 10 people are running parallelly, this is not possible. The size of the staircase is like this, that only one person or two person can go at a time. So in this case, we need to avoid the conflict. How data link layer will perform this task? With the help of MAC. And how MAC is performing this task? With the help of some methods, rules and protocols. So we will discuss this thing in details in coming 2 chapters. Then LAN protocols, how the things are to be planned in the wireless medium, wireless LAN. So we will also discuss this thing in the coming lectures. So this is a complete syllabus of unit number 2 and what we are going to study in the coming 6-7 lectures. Then there is one standard which is the FDDI. We will also discuss this part. Next is the data link layer. Part 2, which is LLC, logical link control. In logical link control, the major part is the flow control and the error control. So most of the numericals are coming from this unit is from the error control. So we will discuss these things in the coming 6 lectures. Today we are starting with the basic scenario and what are the problems with the multiple users. Means this is the first point. As I have shown the syllabus of unit number 2, you will find the first topic is medium access control. So first we are discussing about what are the issues, why we need these two divisions in data link layer. So very first thing is multiple access. What is the meaning of multiple access? In general scenario, can we say that I am purchasing a laptop only for me, nobody else is there to use? Second scenario, can we say a class is created only for you, means you are the only student who will study in the class, nobody else is there, you are only using the resources. Or third scenario, that this is a studio of AKtU where I am the only person to record, no other faculty is allowed to perform this task. If I am doing so, if there is a scenario where all the statements are true, means we are wasting the resources, because all the time nobody is using the resources. Means if one network or one infrastructure is established, there are so many users to use. But we have to see how we can remove the conflicts. Means at the same time, if multiple users are there, then there should be a proper utilization of resources. There must be some mechanism to deal with this scenario that no conflict should be there, no collision of data should be there. Okay? If in a class there are 60 students and everybody is chit-chatting, it means nobody will study. So there is a conflict of voice, there is a conflict of data, and what is the outcome? 0. If everybody is listening to the faculty, what topic is going to be delivered and everybody is sitting silently, sincerely, it means the data is received by every person at a appropriate time, appropriate speed, and everything is fine. So this is the same example how multiple users are accessing the data in a firm manner, in a smooth manner. MAC, multiple access control, medium access control ensures the ease of transfer of data packets or frames or the bit streams which is received at the receiver end. Yes, sender is sending the data, but is receiver able to receive it? So this is assured by the MAC, which is a first part of data link layer between the two components or the two computing elements or two computer terminals. Similarly, we can say the data is received without any collision. If there is any sort of collision of data, then receiver will receive nothing. Okay? So this is very important point to understand. If multiple users are there, multiple faculty members are there in a class and they are discussing their own topics. On the same side, you are studying the software engineering, I am teaching here the computer networks, another one is saying about the compiler design, another one is talking about say machine learning, and there is one student, there is only one student in the class and 4 of the faculty members are throwing their words. So, what you will receive? Nothing, and there is a collision of voices and the outcome is 0. So, here there is a mechanism. Okay, the first lecture is of computer networks, second lecture is of the AI, third lecture is of the particular subject, so that there is no conflict and the student is able to understand the things. If we are sending the data, means in the same scenario, if multiple students are there and only one faculty is there, it means I am broadcasting the thing, I am broadcasting the content. So, in case of broadcasting, only single channel is used and the several stations are receiving it. So, in this case there is no concept of collision. Might be some of the students are thinking that 60 students are present in the class, how there is no collision in this? Because you are the receivers and I am the sender, and in the receiver end you are receiving only one thing, no multiple packets at a same time. So, this means we are allotting only single transmitting channel is there and you are only a single user. So, you are receiving the data, what I am saying, clear? What is the case of collision? Now, we are discussing this thing in the technical terms. Suppose in a network there are 3 systems and this is system 1, system 2 and system 3. Everybody is sending their data on a particular network. In this case, where 2 packets or 2 frames or 2 bit streams will meet, there is a collision of data. Might be this one is sending the data to 2 and he is sending the packet, at the same time 2 is also sending a packet. So, what do you think, that the packet or the bit stream 1 is received at 2? No. Similarly, what 2 is sending will be received by 1? No, because there is a collision matter. So, what is a better option? Better option is there is some central control which says, okay, first turn is of this, once he will send the data, then this will send the data and this is on the third number. So, we need some mechanism to decide which scenario is better. Are you able to lose the data? Data is very crucial. And if we are spending the time in sending the data again and again due to this collision, so it is not an appropriate approach. So, this is not suggestible. So, suggestible approach is we need some sort of protocols. So, basically I am discussing about the problems, the issues and how MAC is solving them with the help of protocols. So, there is a terminology named as channel allocation. So, if we are saying this particular channel is allotted in 3 slots, first slot is given to this one, after the successful transmission the slot is given to this computer and then at the last the slot is given to the third computer. It means we are talking about the proper channel allocation. So, this channel allocation is basically a process in which a single channel is there which is divided and allotted to the multiple users. That this is one class, first I am taking a class, then after me another faculty will come, he will take a class, then another faculty will come and she will take a class. So, this is a proper utilization of channel. So, this is what performed by the data link layer. To understand this concept, we have 2 basic mechanisms. One is the static allocation and another one is the dynamic allocation. Now, might be there is a question in 2 marks in university exam, what is the difference between static and dynamic? As the words are saying, static means we have fixed the schedule, means first lecture is for the computer networks always. Might be the faculty is available or not, the first lecture is of computer networks. It means the faculty is not present, he is on leave, but the first lecture is of computer networks and there is no other faculty. What will happen? The first slot will waste because nobody is coming in the class to teach computer networks. Similarly, second lecture is for the compiler design, the faculty is available, yes, he is taking a lecture second, but first lecture was waste. Third lecture again might be the faculty is computer networks and yes, he is not available. So, this is waste. Static means we have fixed the slots, we have fixed the allocations and we can't change at the runtime. Dynamic means, okay, the computer networks faculty is not available, compiler 1, yes, you can go in the first class, software engineering you can go in the second class, third one, yes, this. Here the channel is allocated, the channel is defined, the duration is 50 minutes or a classroom is assigned, but on the run time we have a power to change the things as per our convenience. So, which method is preferable? If I am saying, okay, I am giving 1 minute to each and every one to discuss this topic. So, what do you think? If you do not have any doubt, if you are unable to understand, why you will speak? So, here I am saying, okay, 5 minutes are there, yes, you can say, you can say, you can say. This is a dynamic allocation. So, generally we focus on the dynamic channel allocation, not the static one. So, these are the protocols which we will study in the coming lectures, and we will discuss these things in detail. The weightage of this diagram is approx 10 to 15 marks in university exam. So, in next class we will discuss about these protocols, and then in the next further class we will talk about the random access protocol. So, this is about the basics. If I talk about summary, then you can say, yes, the services provided by data link layer, what is the role and responsibility, difference between MAC and LLC, the two parts of data link layer. What is channel allocation, why it is required to avoid the conflict, and what is the problem in this, what is the issue in this. So, we will also discuss this part in detail in the next class. There is one question for you. If you want to make a solution for this, as I have discussed various scenarios, if you want to make a solution, think it and wait for the next lecture. Just think over the solution in your mind. Thank you. This is all about the today's class.